28th of December, Rabbi Furst, Pierke, Avos. Share screen. Okay, you can share.
Really good. Okay, thank you, Lou. Again, this is Rabbi Shlomo Furst here, Yeshiva Samanavshi, Yerushalayim, Kerub Zoom. This is our first year. We're in the middle of learning in Pierke Avos, the fifth parak, Mishnah Zion, Sheva Devarim Begolem, Sheva B'Chacham. So we're learning the Rav Bartanura's Hezber, and Lou, you can see we're right over here in the beginning there, where they have the little pen or pencil, and it looks like a pencil, and right over there by Golem. So he's saying here that that the person, kach, a person, she'ena nigmor bedaito, a person's not finished in his, he's not completely, his mind is not completely fully developed, nor is his personality completely developed, nor is his wisdom completely developed. He's called a golem. You see this many times. You know, if you hang around the yeshivas, if you hang around yeshivas to any extent, so you the bachrim, obviously a bacher, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, even go light, even they're 24, 25. They still have a long way to go. Everyone really has a long way to go. Nobody is by any means perfect, but some people have longer ways to go than others. So depending on how, what they're starting out with, number one, and how much work they've done up till now, but everyone's got a long way to go. So we're talking about, again, people who are not disabled. They're not disabled, but they're not complete. They haven't been completely polished in what's required for them to actually function as a chacham in the proper sense. Okay, so let's now take a look. Now the Rav Bartanura is going to, you see they have numbers, the 7 things. We've listed 7 things according to the Rav Bartanura. He's going to give a short explanation of each and every one of them. You like to continue, Roy?
Is that what, number 2 now?
Number 1. We're by number 1.
Aina medaber lifnei me shigadol memenu bechachma shachem mitzvinu be'alazar
Itmar.
Itmar Shela Rotsa Nigba Bifnei Avihan.
They didn't want to speak before their father.
Avihan Kishak Sof. Alayhim Moshe. It's not Moshe, is it?
Yes, Moshe, right.
Moshe, I think Moshe. Bahashiv Aharon. Oh, I see.
Okay, very good. So he gives an example that by Itamar and Elazar, these were the two remaining sons of Aaron, a Kohen. Remember, Aaron had 2 sons that were Nisraf. They brought the Azar with Neh Hashem, and they were Nisraf, and so they were Niftar. And so, as one of the things that resulted from that is that Aaron and the other Kohanim which remained, that was Elazar and Itamar, they didn't eat, if I'm not mistaken, from the Kodshim, and which Moshe Rabbeinu felt that they should have. So Shikatzef Malahim Moshe was upset with Elazar and Itamar, right? And they did not speak before their father, because their father, besides being their father, obviously their father was older than them and wiser than them, so they didn't speak to defend themselves against the disappointment that Moshe Rabbeinu was expressing against them. So therefore, that's an example of a person should not speak before someone who's gadol memenu in b'chachma. Okay, that'll bring us to number 2.
ואינו נכנס
Yes, right, very good.
לסוך דברי חבירו.
Right, so he shouldn't. The second thing is a person should not interrupt. Lo niknas l'tok divrei kavel. Don't interrupt somebody when in the middle of their talking. Let them talk.
Shava your babano.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a confusion. The words shouldn't bring, if you can't listen to two people talking at the same time, and neither, if two people are talking at the same time to each other, they're not listening to the other person either. Each one's just listening to himself and saying what he wants to say. He's not listening to the other person. Or don't interrupt someone when they're in the middle of talking. As a matter of fact, it's actually, to tell you the truth, one of the strategies that is used in debate. Like anytime you're having a discussion with someone, a debate with someone, it's you might think that by cutting them off and interrupting them, that's an advantage, but actually that's a disadvantage, because in general, the more you allow a person to talk, right, the more liable he's going to make a mistake. I mean, if he says just a few things, it's very rare that he's going to say mistake in just a few words. But if you let him speak a lot of words, he's liable to make some mistake, or there'll be some weakness in what he's saying. So then, if you allow your opponent, so to speak, to speak his piece, right? So you can plan your response based on the weakest points that he mentions. But if you interrupt him, right? So he may have made his, because most people say their strongest points first, and then if you interrupt them after that, then there's very little that you can do to challenge them, right? But if you let them speak and let them to develop their thoughts and then maybe express themselves to their piece, then you'll see where their weakest points are, and you can concentrate on those weakest points. And they may not be able to disprove maybe his main point, but you can certainly pick on points that are weak and criticize those. And so if other people are listening, so people in general are going to not remember so much, right? But they'll remember the things which you'll find criticism to say something about, right? So if you have someone to criticize and to question and to challenge, so those are the things you can do. So that's a more of a profitable strategy if you're dealing with discussing something with somebody. So therefore, it's not profitable to interrupt somebody in the middle of his thoughts. And Rav Bartner brings a pasuk in B'midbar. Take a look there.
Shiv B'midbar Yud Beis Shemaru Na Devarei Hamasinu Li Ad She'adabar.
Ad Shita'abdeber. Right. So if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure. This may be talking about when the discussion with the Meraglim. I'm not sure if this has to do with what Kalev was mentioning. I'm not sure, but you see this an example where he's making a request to listen to his words and to wait for him until he's finished speaking, right?
Call the Choma the
Hedjud, right? Hedjud. That's a commoner. Hedjud is a commoner. This was referring to when they were speaking about. Actually, let me take a look and see the Midbar Yud base. 1 second. Let's see if I can't find the puzzle. Midbar Yud base. No. Oh, okay. Yeah, this okay. It's not the by the Meraglim. This is the case. It was the case of when Miriam spoke the lashon hara against Moshe Rabbeinu, right? So, they were there in the oil. Miriam and Aaron and Moshe were there in the oil, and then the Kadosh Baruch Hu appeared to them, and they had to run out. Miriam and Aaron had to run out, and then it's the part of the Shekhinah. Then so to speak, Kadosh Baruch Hu, the Shekhinah is speaking to them, asking them to listen, and Shimon Devorah, right? And so you see that there's a request here that that they listen to what Hashem has to say. So that's the kol v'chomer behedya. I mean, if you see this is the way a Kadosh Baruch Hu is so to speak behaving, even more so that's the way a commoner should behave as well. Okay. So that brings us down to number 3.
Well, maybe I can hand it over if you don't mind.
Okay. Let's see. Lou, you'd like to read a bit? Number 3?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
Ve'eno nivhal lahashiv. And don't make light of
This word nivhal is the same word. It's the same short as bahala is like a frenzy, right? So a person shouldn't be quick, shouldn't be hurried to shouldn't hurry himself to answer. Meaning, if he wants to answer, the person put a question to him, doesn't have to feel obligated to answer it quickly. He can take his time, and it's probably best to think. You just even sometimes just a few moments and gather your thoughts and give your response rather than just coming out with a statement that doesn't have any premeditation before it.
So don't be quick to answer. Today, shetehe teshu raso to halacha. In order that it should be that it answers according to halacha.
Right. And you should verify what you want to say before you say it. Make sure that what your response is going to be in keeping with the law.
L'chein be'eliahu, excuse me, hu omer, Pesav li Zair va'achucha. And so it was with Eliyahu that he said, write for me, I don't know what Zair va'achucha is.
Okay, this is kaserli ze'er va'achucha. To tell you the truth, this is a pasuk in Iyuv, which I'm not really familiar with. So I'm not going to try and guess at the translation right now. I have to take a look at the pasuk inside, but it's obviously an example where his response was not immediate. Not immediate.
Right.
You see this also. I mean, you see even militarily, people think that if something happens, there has to be an immediate retaliation. Not so true. It's not true that you have to retaliate immediately. And sometimes it pays to bide your time to plan a retaliation, and because not only will the enemy be expecting something to come, And the thing is, they're going to expect it to come as quick as possible. So the longer you wait, the longer they're going to lose their patience, and they'll may let their guard down. But if you retaliate immediately, that seems to be a very logical, brave thing to do, to make a retaliation immediately. But it's not always the wisest thing to do. Sometimes you can have better planned out retaliation and accomplish much more than making an immediate retaliation. So same thing here. Like, you don't have to feel obligated to answer every question immediately. You can plan out your answer, and therefore it'll be more successfully explained and understood. Okay, that'll bring us to number 4.
Shoel k'inyan umeshiv k'halacha. Who asked according to the subject and answer according to halacha. L'daber echad hu nimna kan. To speak one, I don't know what nimna is.
Yeah. Okay. So here, the daber doesn't mean to speak here. It means for one thing, it's counted here. Meaning these two things. You might think these things are two things. Shol ke'ininu meishiv k'halacha. You might think those. See, those there are two things here, but you might think they're separates. But they're really the fourth point, and they're two things. That's what he's saying. Davar echad unimnakan. It's for one thing that they're listed here. They're listed here as one thing.
Right, we had that confusion originally.
Exactly, when we were learning
the two things, and we went back.
That's right. When we first learned it, we because it seems on the surface that they're two things. So here we're being Rav Bartanur is saying specifically that they're actually considered to be one thing. Oh, so now he's going to explain.
Okay. V'hachi Perusho, and this is explanation. Hatalmid shoel k'inyan. A student asks in accordance with the subject. Klomar ba'oso inyan shehem asukim bo. That is to say, this subject that they are engaged in. V'az harav meshiv kahalacha, and then the rabbi, the teacher, answers according to the halacha. So it's two different people.
Right. Exactly.
But how is this the action of a chacham? We're saying both people, the student and the rav, have to be chachamim in this instance.
Yeah, I mean, you can have a talmid who's a chacham. He may not be fully mature and fully knowledgeable, but he can be wise in terms of his methodology and his behavior. All right. So that's what we're referring to here. All right.
Aval im yishal hatalmid shelo k'inyan. But if the student asks something that's not on topic, who mevi l'rav she yeshev shelo k'halacha. He brings the rabbi to answer that's not in accordance with halacha. Right,
because if they're let's say the discussion is taking place in Hilchos Brachos. Let's say they're having a discussion, having a shir in Hilchos Brachos. What what bracha do you make on tomato onion soup? Okay, so we're having a discussion about what bracha to make on tomato onion soup, and the Talmud will ask the question about Hilchos Shabbos. So the Rav, if he's going to answer, like since he's not involved with that particular topic right now, he could be causing the Rav to answer not according to the halacha. Whereas if he's asking,
because he's not on top of it.
right, he's not. He's obviously involved with what they're learning now presently. Doesn't mean that the Rav can't answer the question, but it could be that the question may not be completely absolutely according to the true halacha. Whereas if the Talmud is asking something on topic, so we can assume since the question's on topic, the Rav is involved with this topic, and he'll be expert enough to be able to answer according to the halacha in that particular topic that they're learning there now.
Al derech she'amar Rebbe Chia the Rav. And concerning the way that Rebbe Chia spoke to Rav, he koi Rebbe Bahai miskasa
Masechta.
Masechta.
Yep.
Masechta lo tashile b'masechta acharisi. So what's kikoi?
Kikoi Rebbe, meaning Rav Chia said to Rav, Kikoi Rebbe, since Koi Rebbe, since Rebbe, whether that's Rebbe Yehuda Nasi or whoever the Rav was at the time, is Koi is in this Masechta, right? Since the Rebbe is in this Masechta, Lo tishalye b'masechta achrisi.
They shouldn't ask about another Masechta.
Right. Meaning, if they're learning Masechta Baba Kama, don't ask about Masechtas Nidarim. Don't ask the question which is relevant to Masechtas Nidarim.
V'chein ata motze be'anashim asher hayu me'im lenefesh adam sharoi es Moshe osek behalchus ha pesach v'shalu lo v'oso inyan. And so you take out with people that they are impure. Their souls are impure.
No, and also like you find also at Kenata like you find motzi that you find ba'anashim asher hayu meteim lenefesh adam, like the people there who were they were had tuma from the nefesh adam from carrying the iftarim, the bones of the shiftei car in the midbar. So this is how the whole concept of Pesach Sheni developed. That the people who were tummy nefesh, they were defiled, had the tumas mace, and so these people were wondering what's going to be with them when it came to the eating of the Korban Pesach.
Okay, it was proper for Moshe to be involved in the laws of Pesach, and they asked him on this matter.
Right. When Moshe Rabbeinu came to those laws, you see that these people asked the question about what their situation will be with the Korban Pesach. Okay.
Va'omar al Rishon, and he speaks about the first thing first. V'chein matzinu b'hakva. I don't know this abbreviation.
HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Oh, Hashem. Okay. And so we find with Hashem, Shamar Lo Moshe, that he said to Moshe, Mi Anochi ki elech el Paro. Who is the what's on ki?
HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Moshe, Mi Anochi ki elech el Paro, meaning that Moshe said to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Mi Anochi, who am I that I should go to Paro? Moshe Rabbeinu, right? We're gonna now see about the answering Rishon and Achron Achron, right? So we're gonna see now that by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Sha'amar lo Moshe, that Moshe said to Hashem, Moshe said to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, quote, Mi Anochi ki elech leparo. Moshe said to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, who am I that I should go to Paro? Right?
Right. Who Harishonah? That's the first question.
Right. That was the first point. Right. First question.
V'chi otzi es b'nei Yisrael. And since, what is otzi?
Ki otzi v'chi otzi es b'nei Yisrael. Harisheni. Meaning, Moshe Rabbeinu made two statements to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, basically like two questions. Mi ani elei kapar. Who am I that I should go and be the emissary to stand and speak before Paro? Number one. He Rishona, that's number one. And number two, V'chi otzi es b'nei Yisrael. I shall be the one to take out Klal Yisrael. Harisheni, that was the second one. So Moshe Rabbeinu made two statements to Hashem. Who am I that I should go to Paro? And who am I that I should be the one to take the Jews out of Mitzrayim? Well, that was his first and second statements.
V'hashivo HaKadosh Baruch Hu al harishonah ki ahiyah amcha. And Hashem answered the first one. What is this word? Ahiyah?
I will be Ima. I will be with you. Hashem said, I will be with you. You don't have to worry about going to Paro. I'm going to be with you. Don't worry about it. That's number one.
Ba'al Hasheni, concerning the second one, B'hotzi acha es ha'am mimitzrayim ta'avidon es ha'elokim. And I will take out the nation from Egypt. What is Ta'avidon?
David from that Ta'avidon es, and I will like I will judge their gods. Or destroy. I will actually destroy. I will destroy their gods. Tavidon.
Elohim, they're false gods.
Yeah, right. So you see that Kadosh Baruch Hu, in answering Moshe Rabbeinu's claims, he answered the first claim of Moshe Rabbeinu first, and the second claim of Moshe Rabbeinu answered second. So that's an example of the behavior that a chacham is supposed to display when two or more things are being presented to him. How he's supposed to arrange his response. To arrange the response in the order that the questions or statements are being presented.
I don't get the second interchange. The question is, who am I to take out the Jewish people?
1 second, hold on 1 second. Yeah, what's the question, Lou?
Question is, who am I to take out the Jewish people? And the answer is, I will judge their gods.
Right. First of all, I'm gonna hotziecha es am Mitzrayim v'tavruechem, and you're going to take the people out of Mitzrayim, and the gods will be destroyed. Right. So that's an indication that Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to be doing Moshe Rabbeinu is not going to be destroying the gods. Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to be destroying the gods. So it's also a indication that Moshe Rabbeinu is going to be sort of through the motions, but Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to be doing the real work here. Okay, let's stop here. A good time to stop. We're not going to have a chance to start and finish 6 and 7 now. So let's take a little break. And Mr. Shem will be back in a little while. Roy should have a good afternoon.
Thank you. As a matter of interest,
Start the Mr. Brewish here in a few minutes hence.
as a matter of interest, this Mishnah is in Rabbi Bunim's publication is Mishnah 9.
Okay. Number very 9. Okay, good. Yeah, the order is sometimes different, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, very good. We can discuss some of that tomorrow if you have something to add from that. That's a good idea. Fine.